Hey guys, I want to make a quick video on how to set up hotkeys in TradeStation. So I use TradeStation often for my day trading, and a lot of times I'll use hotkeys to get in and out of my trades really fast. So let me show you how to set that up. So if you go up to the top and you go over to View, click on that, go down to Shortcuts, and instead of clicking hotkeys, we're going to click on Macros. Once you have that pulled up, there's a list of different macros that you can assign to a different key on your keyboard for a hotkey, or you can come over to the right and you can create your own. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And for an example, we'll do 1,000 share order. So we're going to keep it next till we get to this screen here. And just to show you, we're dealing with equities. You can change that to options, futures, but we're going to do equities. And then we're going to do 1,000 share order for the example. So 1,000 here, specific quantity, next. And it's going to go to the trade bar, next. And then right here on this screen, you can customize the order a little bit more in depth. So if you wanted to do a market order, you can go ahead and do that, and it will go ahead and just purchase it right at the market. If you wanted to do a limit order, then this would allow you to use the hotkey in the pre-market for pre-market trading, as well as aftermarket and the market hours. So this is often what I'll use. So we're going to do 1,000 share order by the limit, and we're going to buy the bid. So this is interesting here because you can either set this up to buy the bid, or you can buy the ask. There's other options here, but really what I'm focusing on is I'm gonna buy the bid, or I'm gonna buy the ask. That's where I'm buying. So in this case scenario, a lot of times I'll buy the bid. But if I'm trying to get in the stock really fast, if I think it's just running so fast, I need to get in on this thing. It's just otherwise I'm gonna miss out on the move. Then I'll buy the ask. If I'm buying on a pullback and I'm looking at maybe a 9 EMA pullback or a 20 EMA pullback or something, or a support line, then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll try to buy the bid at that level. So in this case, we're going to do 1,000 share order on the bid, and we're going to do a GTC plus, and this allows us to execute the order in the after hours as well as the pre-market and the market hours as well. So this is good for pretty much all orders. So this is 1,000 shares on the bid, and we can go ahead over here. We can label it. We'll say 1,000 bid, and we'll just put down here 1,000 or buy 1,000 shares bid. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So go ahead and set that up there. The name is invalid, so I can't have it with the numbers first. So let me just do bid and 1,000. So we'll do it like that and see if it works. Okay, so that works. So just had to have the bid instead of the numbers first. You can't start with the numbers. So we'll go to next. And this asks here if you want to display a confirmation window or play a beep. I will keep the beep on often just to make sure I acknowledge the fact that I actually bought some shares sometimes. But the display confirmation window is useless to me. So I'll go ahead and turn that right off, and then we can finish our order. So now you can see that it just added it to the macros on the bid 1,000. So the next step is what we're going to do is we're going to assign this a hotkey. So we can go over here to the hotkeys, click that, and you can see that the bid 1,000 is right there. So I'm going to go here, right to the press new hot. I'm going to hit 1 on the keyboard, and then I'm going to go down here to assign. So now it assigned the 1 is going to be the bid buy of 1,000 shares. So we're going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to save it to day trade hotkeys. It's going to ask if I want to do it. Say yes, and then I'm going to go ahead and close. And I'll close this as well. So I'm going to come over here in the market. This is a simulated account. This is just for an example. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the 1 on the hotkey. It's going to ask me if I want to place the order, and the reason for this is because the market's closed. I'm going to say yes, and as you can see, it already placed the order right there. So you can see how that's really convenient, because if I'm looking for that pullback and it's right at that level and it's starting to see support and I really want to buy it, and I think the bidders is a good level to buy it at, then we go ahead and hit the 1, and then we're good to go. And during the pre-market or market hours, once this is moving around, it's not going to ask you if you want to make this order. So once we hit this, you're not going to get this screen right here asking you, are you sure you want to make this order? So, and the reason for that is because we checked that box saying, don't give us the screen So it would give us this order, it would place it on the bid, and then as long as we get filled, we'd be in our position. Now, let me show you how to do that exact same order, but this time we're going to do it as an ask. So a lot of times I'll have both orders set up as hotkeys. So maybe I'll have one for 1,000 shares on the bid and two for 1,000 shares on the ask. So we'll go ahead back up to the top, we'll go to view, go to shortcuts, macros. We're going to create, hit next, next, 1,000 shares. And this is where you can customize how big of a size you want to take. Hit next here, next, and then right here we're going to go to sell, or we're going to go to buy, but we're going to buy on the ask. So that's the only difference. So it's all the same GTC plus, so we can execute it during non-market hours, and we can also it's a limit order, so this is buy on the ask. So hit next here. We'll just put buy ask, and we'll put 1,000. Okay. And then right here, display confirmation window, we're going to check that box so that way it doesn't pop up on us, and we'll just execute just with one touch. And it can go ahead and play the beep. You can choose to keep that on, take it off. It's your choice. Finish, and you can see it added here. So next step, hotkeys, click that. And then we can go over to the buy ask, click it. Hit the 2, assign, and again, we're going to save as, and we're going to save right over that last file. So now every time I load up my platform, as long as I have this all set up, I can just load up these day trade hotkeys, and 1 and 2 should be assigned. So I'm going to close this out, make sure it worked. So we're going to go over here, we're going to hit the 2, it's going to ask us if we want to make the order because it's not market hours. We're going to hit yes, and as you can see, it's buying the ask. So the difference in this case, so I'll go ahead and hit the 1, so we'll have both orders set. The difference is when I hit 1, I'm buying on this bid here, and when I hit the 2, I'm buying on the ask here. So you can see when I talk about the spread, and sometimes if it has a wide spread, this is the spread that I'm talking about. So in this case, we have a 8-cent spread. So if you were to buy on the ask, then you were to sell immediately as a market order or a bid order, you'd immediately be down 8 cents. So make sure that you guys are aware of this on the spreads, and make sure you're aware of how wide they can be and the movement. But so that's the buy the bid 1,000 shares and buy the ask 1,000 shares, excuse me. So now we're going to go up here and we're going to add another macro. So we're going to go over to macros, and this one we're going to create an order to sell. And say you want to sell your whole position. So instead of it being, a few shares, or you want to take profit, which you can do that as well, what we're going to do for this example is the whole position. So you can see this box here, use position quantity. Click that there, and then we can go over to the next. So this is basically a sell all type of button. So say you're in a bind and the thing is just flying down and you need to get out of it quick, and it's pre-market and you don't have a opportunity to set a set stop limit on it, and you have to do a mental stop. This button here, or this hotkey, can come in handy. So we're going to make this a sell. We're going to sell the limit, and in this case we're going to sell the bid. And the reason for that is because the bid is what someone's willing to pay. If you try to sell the ask, then sometimes what can happen is it will be ripping down and your order will be sitting here at the ask price, and it will be too late and the price is ripped down below that. So your order is set up here to sell if it comes back up to it, but the problem is the price is continuing to rip down. So you're watching your account drop as the stock's flying down. So if you want to get out of your position extremely fast, then this is how I suggest doing that: sell, limit, and on the bid. And again, we're going to do a GTC plus, and that allows us to do pre-market trading as well as after-market trading. And then we can go ahead and hit next. And this one we're going to put sell, and we're going to sell bid. And we'll do all. So, and you can just name it whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to name it for the example. and then hit the display confirmation window. That way it doesn't ask us when we're in the middle of it, because that can be pretty frustrating when you need to sell fast. You hit the thing, and then next thing you know, a confirmation window pops up and says, "Are you sure you want to sell?" Well, of course I want to sell. The thing is flying down, and I need to get out of my position now. So click this box to get rid of that. Play the beep is up to you. Hit finish, and then you can go ahead and see sell bid all. So we're going to go ahead and go to the hotkeys to finish this up. Go over to hotkeys and say you wanted to make this. Well, say I'll make it a 5 on my keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and hit assign, and then you can see it assigned there. Save as, and day trade hotkeys. Save over that one, yes, and we can see it went ahead and is good to go. So in this case, you're not going to see. I'm going to go ahead and try to do it, and it's going to say invalid or missing quantity. So this just means that we don't have a position and we have no open position, so I can't show how this one would work. But what would happen is, say I would go ahead and buy on the bid, and I have my order, and then this thing rips down to here, and my mental stop is here. Well, as soon as I hit that button, as soon as I hit that 5, then that thing is gone. So, and you can set it to whatever you want. I'm just using 5 as an example. But this is just a few of the hotkeys that is available through TradeStation. So you can go right up to the top, view, shortcuts. Hotkeys is where you can view them, but macros is where you're going to be able to create them. So that's where we're going to go over to macros, create, and you can have fun with this. You can kind of mess around with this and create custom orders. You can come in here and you can change this to a dollar amount. But I would always recommend, whenever you set up hotkeys, always test them in a simulator first, and that's what we're doing here. So you can see that this is a simulated account right now, and it's a lot of times during the market hours, where I'm not trading as much, but I'm just sitting there kind of watching things. I'll switch over to the simulator and I'll kind of mess around with these hotkeys and maybe some OSO orders. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll go over a few more hotkeys in the future, and I'll go over custom OSO orders that you can see here, and how to set up your platform to look just like this. But if you found value in the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.